Welcome back. And now to Coast Guard. The Bears ended their road season with yet another loss, their 6th in a row, this time at the hands of WPI, 38-6. The Engineers featured a potent offense, tallying 457 yards and dominating the time of possession by more than 2-1. Coast Guard also fumbled twice near the WPI goal line.
Fumble the football! Picked up by the Engineers in the end zone!
Freshman Joe Armentrout started under center for the Bears, throwing for 140 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception. The loss drops the Bears to 2-7 on the year with their final home game in the annual Secretaries Cup matchup against rival Merchant Marine. The Mariners are 7-1 on the season and coming off a bye week.
They'll be fresh legs, the whole 9 yards. Just watching them on tape, they're obviously very good, very talented team. That quarterback, he's probably as talented, if not the most talented kid that we'll face all year at that position. So they do what they do, and they do it very well. So we're going to have our hands full.
In fact, Ian Blankenship has been a star for the Mariners this season. The senior quarterback has been named Conference Player of the Week 3 times this season and accounted for 25 touchdowns, either rushing or passing. Merchant Marine is averaging 46 points a game this season, its only loss coming to a Springfield team that beat Coast Guard 60-0. It will be the second Secretaries Cup game for Bears head coach C.C. Grant. In the only D3 football game of 2020, Merchant Marine beat Coast Guard 24-14. That's right, the pandemic canceled the season for all of D3 last year, except that one game. Vickie Fulkerson has been covering Coast Guard football and the Secretaries Cup for nearly 30 years.
It was so crisp and well played. I was so impressed. Like, they went from 0 to 60, because they were just like practicing. Some of the seniors weren't even coming to practice, and then all of a sudden they went on and played, and it was real competitive.
The rivalry game, usually played around Veterans Day, features some of the same traditions of their Division I brethren at West Point and Annapolis.
Coast Guard and Merchant Marine have the same kind. It's not the same kind of march on, but they still do all the pageantry. Have the Corps of Cadets all march on, and it does get, and then it's Veterans Day, and when it's at New London, I don't know if you've ever been there, but the Thames River is in the background. There's a sub base, and there's boats out on the river, and it's just it just gives you a chill. It's such a I'm sure when you cover Army Navy, it's such a privilege.
Overall, the Mariners lead the Secretaries Cup series 27-13, with Coast Guard's last win coming in 2018.
So this is my 29th year covering the Coast Guard. So I think when I first started covering the team, I didn't realize, what it meant. And then in 1996, Coast Guard went down to Kings Point and won the game. And it got Coast Guard into its first NCAA tournament ever. And Bill Schmitz was the coach, and he cried after. And I was like, whoa. And Kings Point, it was my first time going down there for the game. And they had they had bumper stickers that say "Beat Coast Guard." And they're like, oh my God, you guys, you've got a bumper sticker. And just seeing the reaction when they won, and it got them into the tournament. And it was the final game of the season for a long time, and then they moved it to the beginning of the season, certain conference obligations. But now they're in the same conference again, so it's back at the end. And then it's always around Veterans Day, and ESPN has been televising it as part of their Veterans Day coverage.
Even though the Bears are having a down season, it's still a rivalry week.
Coast Guard went to play at Springfield and lost 60-0 against the triple option. So now here they go against Merchant Marine, who runs the triple option. So the defense is going to have to do a lot better job than they did against Springfield. They're going to have to just really step up. I'm sure they learned a lot from that game. If it was, say, Guy's first game ever playing against the triple option or whatever, but I'm sure they learned a lot, and I'm sure they've watched a million Merchant Marine games on film. And then just because it's such a rivalry, you don't know what the score is going to be. Coast Guard won 10-8 one year. You know, they didn't have as good a team as Merchant Marine, and Pat Bennett returned the opening kickoff for 80-something yards, and they won 10-8. So
that upset was in 2010, by the way. Being part of the rivalry as a longtime assistant, Coach Grant knows he doesn't have to do much to get his squad motivated for the final game of the year.
You don't have to say too much to get the kids amped up for the game. We'll be excited for it. I'm sure Merchant Marines, they're going to be excited to be here. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, so we're looking forward to it.
The Bears will sport their commemorative uniforms honoring the Station 17 all-black life-saving crew dating back to the late 1800s. Stationed off the Atlantic coast, they helped save lives of shipwrecked mariners and passengers. Before
the Coast Guard was the Coast Guard, it was like the life-saving service, and they had a life-saving station at Pea Island, which is like in the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and it was the first all-black life-saving station. And the commanding officer was a man named Richard Etheridge, and he was the first Black commanding officer. And but he was appointed. I looked it up. He was appointed in 1880. So they have uniforms this year that are paying homage to the Pea Island life-saving station, which was station number 17. So they have it like on the helmets.
And we'll have some final thoughts on Veterans Day when Behind the Lines returns.